All right, Texas is facing the consequences of Trump in office. Let's get into this video and don't forget to
hype me up, hype me up, hype me up.
All right, y'all.
Hi, I live in the middle of a very red district of Midland, Texas,
Okay.
that voted about 80% for the Trumpster.
Okay.
Yes, and there used to be signs all over my neighborhood, Trump flags, even after the election. And today I can report that the last Trump flag in my neighborhood has come down.
Ooh.
With the
Progress.
horrible state that the oil industry is in now. That's what my economy in my city goes on. They voted him in thinking that oil would be doing well. Instead, it's in the toilet. And people's
I guess they dropped the Trump at the dump.
grocery prices are high, and things are just stagnant in Midland, Texas. And it's all thanks to Trump, and people know it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to blame Trump for everything that's going on in the country, because it's like as soon as he does something really conspicuous, really blatant, the cause and effect thing happens immediately after. It's kind of hard not to place blame on him.
Have y'all heard about Project Matador? It's going to be the largest data center in the world, and it's going to be built in Amarillo, Texas. They've already approved the first phase. It's going to be 18 million square feet spread across 5,300 acres.
Wow.
That data center is going to use 5.5 million gallons of water every single day.
Whoa. How many?
It's 5.5 million gallons of water every.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. Hey, I'm having a hard time conceptualizing just how much water is 5.5 million gallons. In terms of bodies of water that we know of, how much is that? He did say 5.5 million gallons, right? That's what we're going with. That's a lot of water. Okay, so 5.5 million gallons is a lot more than it sounds like. It already sounds like a lot, Chat GPT. A few ways to picture it. About 8.3 Olympic-sized swimming pools. See, I don't even know how big an Olympic-sized swimming pool is. I ain't never been to one. Spread across one football field, it would be about 12.8 feet deep. Now, that's a big-ass swimming pool. A football field, and it would be 12.8 feet deep. To put that in perspective, even if you was Shaq and you put your hands all the way up in the air like this, you still wouldn't be touching the surface of the water. Damn, that's a lot, bro. Anyways, let's get back into this video.
Single day. 2 billion gallons of water a year. Amarillo doesn't want the damn thing because they think that it's going to dry their aquifer up. I guess we'll see. The damn thing is going to use so much electricity that you could power 8.2 million houses. 2 New York cities. They're going to build their own power plant. The name of the power plant is called the Hyper Grid. They've already made contracts with Hyundai to supply 4 nuclear reactors. They've already ordered 800 turbine generators from Siemens that puts out 62 megawatts of electricity each.
I feel like I gotta
And
play
the
this music.
rest is going to be solar, according to them. This damn data center is so big that it takes the common out of common sense. It's going to sap up all the resources in the area. It's going to create tens of thousands of jobs over the next few years. Are you going to be part of that project?
Most likely not. That is crazy, guys. Did y'all hear what this man said, man? 2 billion gallons per year. We know that 5.5 million gallons of water can fill up a football field at 12.8 feet deep. That's crazy. Just imagine you digging out a pool the size of a football field and then making it basically 13 feet deep. Brother, that's a lot of water, and that's what it uses on a daily basis.
And another thing that makes me really angry while I'm on the topic of Texas
In this state, we have been under Republican leadership since 1994, 1 year after I was born. So you can take me as an example of how long Texas has been Republican, red, okay? Ever since I moved here in 2000, you know what I've heard? The Democrats ruined this state. We got to get it back to where it was. It's been 30 fucking years.
Yeah, that put a lot of things in perspective, because they would have you believe that Texas is doing the way it's doing, or going the way it's going because of Democrats, but the state as a whole has been red for the longest. That's a very interesting concept. So it kind of almost shows you that, like, damn, maybe something else should be done if we want to live the way we want to live, dog. Maybe some of these AI data centers wouldn't be coming here, because, dog, that really doesn't help nobody in the long run. Let's be for real. Like, come on, man.
I admit, I regret my vote for Donald Trump.
First of all, she don't even look like a Donald Trump voter, bro. She looks like she's on the far left. She looks like she is definitely getting pissed off at somebody for misgendering her or getting her pronouns wrong.
I regret it because I needed these changes sooner. I needed the prices to go down sooner so that I didn't drain out my bank accounts and go into crippling credit card debt, so that when I had an emergency, I had money set aside. So when my son's glasses break, I could actually get him new ones. I can't do any of that right now. My car broke down, and so I'm in a friend's car just to work, to continue living paycheck to paycheck. I knew it was going to be hard, and that it wasn't going to come fast. I just wish that things would work out better.
You and me both.
Regret that everything is taking so long, because there's so much pushback, because I don't even know the reasons anymore. I don't understand why good things have to be trampled on. I don't know why good people have to be trampled on.
Good people. You didn't hear any of those nasty, mean things that man was saying about minorities. The things he was saying about women, the things he's allegedly done to women, and you saying that you're a good person by voting for him? Come on, man. It makes no sense.
I don't want a lot. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to not live paycheck to paycheck. I just want to be able to live and work. I work 7 days a week to not even make ends meet sometimes, and my car broke down, and I have a few $1,000s worth of repairs to do on it. My son's glasses broke, and I can't even take him to the eye doctor. I just want to get past the hard part. I want to get to the part where it's not just crippling. I know he's working on it.
Who? Not Trump.
I know that it's gonna get better.
What you talking about, God?
Been any better with anybody else? I just really needed things to start working again. They're still not.
Yeah.
I mean, I owe more in taxes this year, which is just more debt.
But I thought Trump was a tax man. I thought he was the type of person that want to reduce taxes for the American people, because that's what he all about. He's smart for not paying taxes. Remember that? Yeah, it's only cool when he do it. Man, come on, man.
I can't pay that I have to pay is just another $100 or so a month that I can't afford.
Data center championed by Donald Trump is causing a housing crisis in Abilene, Texas. I'm Andrew Chow, a tech reporter for Time Magazine, and this is AI Explained by Humans. Last January, Donald Trump announced a $500 billion project called Stargate to build data centers across the US. And the flagship location would be in Abilene.
AI seems to be very hot. It seems to be the thing that a lot of smart people are looking at very strongly. And
where's his
our
head
country will be prospering like never before.
Abilene offered the data centers lots of power, land, and huge tax breaks. But there was one big issue: housing. Abilene was already short on housing, and the data center project brought thousands of out-of-town workers into the area within months. Average rental prices have gone up $1,000 in 1 year, according
What the boy? $1,000 in 1 year? I don't know about y'all, but I like my inflation to creep in slowly. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You got to take me out to eat first before you ram me. God damn, shit, man. In 1 year, a $1,000 increase in rent, bro. To put that in perspective for the people who are little, just imagine a year from now, your rent went up by $1,000. That is no time for something significant like that to be happening.
according to Zillow. Motels are completely full. RV parks are maxed out. And vulnerable people are being driven onto the streets, including entire families.
Anytime we had someone in the homeless camps, there was never a family. It was usually like a couple or a single adult. We have had homeless families in our homeless encampments recently, and I have to assume that it's connected to the economic changes that are happening around Abilene, and that's terrifying. We want to be a place where families feel like they can be here and have an economic future in Abilene.
City officials say that the data center is fueling the local economy and will bring in millions of dollars in tax revenue over the years. But the focus of Abilene citizens is on the pain being inflicted right now. The AI boom is remaking America. We just need to ask, who's actually benefiting? And who's being left out on the street?
I'll tell you this much. I bet you any money when it's all said and done, Trump is going to be 2 and 3 times richer. Hopefully he's in jail or, beneath the flowers. You know what? It is what it is. I don't give a shit if I got the news today, man, what? He's no longer amongst the living. Boy, listen, it is what it is. But not only do the Republicans allegedly like to sexually assault minors, they're also in the business in sexually assaulting us adults by bending us over with no Vaseline, with all of the dumb decisions that they make that ain't gonna help nobody but rich people. This is crazy. They ain't even offer us a free meal or nothing, no date, no nothing. They just like your boy did in Wolf of Wall Street. Man, bro.
I think something that will change a lot of people's perspectives about politics is the fact that Texas has 2 million more registered Democrats than it does registered Republicans. There are 2 million more registered Democrats in Texas than there are registered Republicans.
So one would have to assume that they're not going out there to vote.
Might be asking, why do they always lose elections then if there's way more of them? It's simple. The answer is voter suppression and gerrymandering. That is why Democrats can never win power in Texas, is because Republicans make it extremely difficult for people to vote on election day. And even if they do vote, they just gerrymander the voting districts so that Republicans come out on top anyways. Fun fact of the day.
Yeah, a lot of spooky things be happening in Texas.
Now, if I want to really crush the housing market, I could do that so fast and people could buy houses, but you would destroy a lot of people that already have houses. I am very protective of people that already own a house, of which we have millions and millions and millions. And because we have had such a good run, the house values have gone up tremendously. And these people have become wealthy. They weren't wealthy. They become wealthy because of their house. And
let me get this straight. People are wealthy because their homes doubled in value. Makes a lot of sense if you don't think about it. But in order to extract that wealth, you either A, have to sell the house, which is tough to do because in most cases today, people bought when the interest rates were really, really low. And now that same house has doubled in value. And who wants to take a loss on their house? No one. So you're expecting to get what the house is worth. But the interest rates in current time does not equate to them being able to afford that same house. So extracting the wealth that way is kind of hard to do. Also, another way to extract the wealth out of the house is to do maybe a cash out refinance or something like that. But you got to keep in mind, too, when you bought the house at 2.25 or 2.75, 3.25, whatever, that made sense. But now you're trying to borrow cash against the property and the interest rates are 6 and 7%. It don't make no damn sense, man. Trump will make you think you winning if you ain't got half a brain, bro.
Every time you make it more and more and more affordable for somebody to buy a house cheaply, you're actually hurting the value of those houses, obviously, because the one thing works in tandem with the other. And I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt the value of people that own a house who, for the first time in their lives, are walking around the streets of whatever city they're in, very proud that their house is worth $500,000, $600,000, $700,000.
They ain't gonna be too proud when that tax bill hit. And also, you're talking about not doing things that'll hurt people that have houses. But when people don't have job security, doesn't that hurt their ability to remain homeowners? Because if you can't pay the mortgage, then you can't maintain the home. The bank comes back and take it. So if I'm not mistaken, in February, they documented 92K job losses in America. And then when they revise it, we know that number going to come back significantly higher. We probably looking more like 1.25K jobs gone. All those homeowners in that mix that's going to lose their home. But you talking about you don't want to do nothing that's going to hurt the home. Man, shut the hell up.
State with the strongest economy right now is probably Texas.
Because they got so many
people. It's the second
people.
largest state economy in the U.S. behind California and the 8th largest economy in the world behind France. And it's had faster economic growth, faster population growth, and lower unemployment than the U.S. overall since the pandemic. Texas is also an example of a long-term economic strategy executed with incredible success. In the 1980s and 90s, Texas had an economy with a painful Achilles heel. It was vulnerable to the boom and bust of the oil and gas industry. When oil was up, Texas was good, but its reliance on a volatile industry meant that its outward strength masked inward fragility. So it diversified. It grew new industries. It expanded manufacturing. It became a titan of an exporter and a favorite destination of corporate relocation. Now, the biggest threat facing the Texas economy is resting on its laurels. Texas doesn't do a good job generating income for Texans. Even if you take into account a lower cost of living and no state income tax, incomes in Texas are lower than the U.S. average. And if Texas wants to be the strongest economy for the next 30 years, it has to address this. Texas has a higher share of people in poverty than the U.S. overall, despite its faster growth and lower unemployment.
I
When
know
you
that.
think of the urban areas in the U.S. with high poverty rates in decline, you probably jump to the Rust Belt or an East Coast city plagued with crime. But in fact, of the 25 largest metropolitan areas in the U.S., the one with the most poverty is Houston, followed by Detroit, followed by San Antonio. The state isn't good at addressing the problems of low-income residents. Take food stamps. They're an entitlement program whose benefits are paid for by the federal government. Texas is one of the worst states at enrolling its eligible population, opting through poor administration to keep federal dollars out of its economy and its residents in need without help.
Well, that's because conservatives don't want to spend that money on the people, bro. That's what they just want to look at it and hoard it and do things that's going to make themselves richer. And that's one thing that, like I said before, a lot of conservatives love to brag about red states and cities being better with the budget. But what are you doing with the money? You ain't doing nothing to enrich the lives of the people who live there, bro.
Texas has one of the worst average credit scores too. That's in part because it never expanded Medicaid. So it has the highest rates of uninsurance in the country and bears the shameful title of being the only state with double-digit uninsurance for children. Even the internet popcorn of ranking states by some metric comes down hard on Texas. Wallet Hub just dubbed it the state with the most people in financial distress because of high rates of bankruptcy filings and delinquent loans. Now, Texas can do this. It's got experience executing long-term economic strategy. It has the tailwind of a growing economy, but y'all, growth ain't enough. The job is not done. And if Texas wants to stay the strongest economy in the U.S., it has to do better.
Cooked. Man, I'm telling you, bro, them conservatives, all they do is be cheap with the budget and look at child crazy tapes. You know what? I don't even want to say it because YouTube be tripping.
Money in the state of Texas to get me water that I have lost.
When they talk about my water, they're talking about their commodity. It's immoral. What's going on?
This is the front lines of America's new water wars.
A massive groundwater project could pull billions of gallons of water from East Texas.
They can take all of your water, all of your neighbor's water, and all your granddaddy's water.
One hedge fund manager claims that he can deliver billions of gallons of water to Texas cities that are running out. But he's made a fortune off a crisis before.
We're talking to Kyle Bass.
Wait, is this the guy that put the insurance claim on the Twin Towers? Man.
He made $500 million shorting the subprime market.
We made hundreds of millions of dollars in a day. And I sat down with my team and I said, this is it.
Kyle Bass's plan is part of a broader Wall Street trend of buying up water rights as water becomes a more valuable commodity.
Private investors are betting that in a hotter and drier future, water is the new oil.
I believe that agricultural land with water on site will be very valuable in the future.
Landowners and politicians are fighting back against this Wall Street water grab. And in the process, they just might change some antiquated water laws in Texas.
Democrat, Republican, black, white, everybody is in agreement. We got to protect our water.
Yo, that is I've never really quite thought about it that way. Water is such a precious thing that we all need. It's a resource that we all need. But now they're going to take something that's already in such high demand and make it that much more in demand. They're going to deplete the supply, drive up the demand, and they're going to end up rationing it out that shit to us. That's what's going to happen, bro. These people are buying water. You know, I knew shit was fucked up when they gave us something that God intended to be free and bottled it up for us. I knew shit was going crazy. I knew things was crazy when I need a license to go and cast a fishing net inside of some water that God created that man had no parts in, and they told me I need a license to do that. If they can make money off it, bro, they will do it. That's one thing I can say about them people, bro. They know how to make money hand over fist, charge you for something that you didn't even know you could be charged for. This is pathetic. And it's always leading back to money. I want to show y'all something. Them talking about all of the money and how much money that dude made by shorting the market or whatever. It led me to show y'all this clip. Now, I need y'all to watch this.
This is insanely illegal. Crazy breaking news. A mystery trader put in a $1.5 billion notional bet that the stock market would go up this morning. And you guessed it, they put in this bet just before Trump tweeted. That's right, just 14 minutes before Trump said that they're having great conversations with Iran and he's putting a 5-day pause on blowing up their infrastructure. In one go, a trader bought $1.5 billion notional worth
Trump
of
needs to be
S&P 500
arrested.
futures and sold $192 million of oil futures. And 6 minutes later, the S&P 500 surged $2 trillion in market value. In a 5-minute window, traders placed $580 million worth of oil trades. And 14 minutes later, Trump tweeted this. This trader knew exactly what was going to happen. And he knew exactly when. Just under 20 minutes, they made out with hundreds of millions of dollars in profits. And of course, to nobody's surprise, Iran said none of this even happened. In fact, they also said it was a ploy to manipulate markets. They're not wrong. This is totally insider trading, but the SEC is probably not going to do anything about it. One of the SEC's head enforcement officials, Margaret Ryan, resigned last Monday after just 6 months. Can you guess why? She wanted to be more aggressive in pursuing charges for fraud because that's her job. And she quit because she faced resistance from SEC Chair Paul Atkins and other top Republican political appointees. And big shocker, that included the handling of cases with ties to Donald Trump and his family. Yeah. And while you and I are paying more for gas, they're making hundreds of millions of dollars off of tweets. Which member of Trump's admin or family do you think made these trades? Let me know what you guys think. Peace.
I just spent $115 at the pump 30 minutes ago. That pissed me off.
You want to know something crazy? None of this concerns me. Do you know what truly concerns me?
If we lose the midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included. They're not going to stop. They're getting more and more and more radical. And we have to counter that. And what do we have to counter it with? We have to counter it with more action, more intense action, more urgency. We're burning daylight. If you look across every aspect of this, we have to codify what President Trump has done by executive order, right? We have to codify it.
They are publicly admitting that if they do not win the midterm elections and if they lose the next elections, basically if they get to this midterms, if the Democrats manage to somehow flip the elections, the House and Senate, a lot of people are going to prison. Trump is going to prison. A lot of them will die in prison.
Man, the day we see Trump in prison, man, I don't know. I doubt it, but whatever. But this is what's going on. Guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and please don't forget to
Hype me up. Hype me up.